Steve Mayfield, step on up. Hey, cocaine. Steve Mayfield, come on in. Since you want to argue in the comments section, and you won't go well. Good morning, everybody. This probably won't take long. I doubt he shows. Steve Mayfield, step on up. Where you at? We're going to see what you know about global finance. Hey, what's going on, y'all? Come on, Steve Mayfield, where you at, man? Yeah, you've been bugging me all morning. Said it's fun. Come on in. I know you can hear me. You've been commenting for the last hour and a half. I know you can see this. I know you can see this. Hey, brother Truth. Come out wherever you are. Steve Mayfield, show up. No, I ain't no accidental superpower. Steve Mayfield, show up. You can hear me. 47 seconds ago. He just commented. Show up. Nah, he's not in the chat. He's still in the comments section. Show up. He can hear me. Yeah, the chair never left. Cats, the chair never left. It's always somebody that wants to sit in it. Thought you at work, Cats. Steve Mayfield, show up. Yeah, I'm sure he's listening in. Cash app him. Come on, you want to talk you want to talk global finance? You think the United States is going to get out of this crisis? Come on in. Explain yourself. Name of what's going on. Well, uphill ain't the up a cliff, not even uphill. He wants to spam my comment section, but he don't want to show up. Hey, Officer Charles, did you take that lovely citizen up on her offer? Well, you guys want to talk about something while we wait for Steve to show up? Why doesn't the USA invest in gold as well as stockpile? Because they make more money off of the dollar than they do off of gold. That's why. Dollars you can print up, gold you can't. uh, it was it was the least you could do, Officer Charles, after you interrupted the process. No, that's not why they destroyed Gaddafi. Nah, not because he was trying to get off the dollar. Had more to do with France than it had to do with Gaddafi, than the United States. Because France forced the United States off the gold standard in 1971, and there's too many dollars out there to be backed by gold. But that was the case way, way, way back in. They said that way back in 1959. In fact, that dude sent me a paper with Triffin, but they knew that back in 1959. There was way more dollars out there. There was no way that the dollar can actually get backed up by gold anymore. It's impossible. There is no such there's you don't have 100 trillion dollars in gold, do you? AC Boogie, what's up? Or the EEOC? Yeah, they're good at it if they want to. There's not enough people in the EEOC to actually investigate. So you got to have a really big case for them to do it. But you can write them, and if it's small enough, they'll take care of it. You should have an EEOC representative if you work for any kind of government job. Hey, Punisher, what's up? Yeah, I'm up early. I was actually working, getting ready to work on something. But you know how you get your alerts when people keep commenting in your comment section, especially if it's the same dude. Now you don't want to show up. What I figured that. I figured as soon as I put his name on in lights, he would go away. Steve Mayfield, where you at? Yeah, I know he's not coming. Nah, I can't. I can't because he won't come take this. He won't come take this ass whipping. You know how it is with little kids. Tell them to bring the switch, and they want to hide behind the house. Well, yeah, you can say. Well, the thing is depending on how widespread this is, it's not going to save you. Europe, DeAndre. Nah, he's not asleep. He just commented it like 7 minutes ago. He ain't sleep. Hey, Kirky, what's up? Yep. They talk trash, then haul ass. That's what they normally do. What I think about China's moves lately. Basically, from what I'm hearing, Trump asked China for two things. Is one to buy more soybeans, and the second thing is to basically to cut off the flow of opioids coming into the United States. Neither of which he did. This is why Trump is going to actually basically enforce more tariffs, so that if Yi Ji if she knows that that's what he wanted, he didn't do it. That means she just flipped him the bird. In other words, she doesn't care. So in other words, if he flipped him the bird, that means he's in a position of power. And if he's in a position of power, that means that doesn't look good for us. Let's put it that way. Now I don't want to smoke. Well, he said he wanted to smoke, but then now he doesn't want to smoke. He just yeah. Well, he hasn't commented in the last 10 minutes. Well, yeah. Oh, that's true. It could be. Well, he could text in. Brexit's going to go down. It's going to go down. Brexit will go down because I think with Deutsche Bank, I think that's what they're waiting on to see what the banking system is going to do. So if they were waiting on what I think they wanted to see if EU had a chance of holding itself together, and if Deutsche Bank is any indication, it probably doesn't. So they're definitely going to go out. That's how come they put Boris Johnson as prime minister, because he is pro Brexit. So they will leave. That's how come the pound is getting hit right now. Yeah, yeah. He wants attention from the teacher. I'm calling him to the chalkboard, but now he's hiding it. Now he wants to go in the back of the room and put his head down and hide. Yeah, China's been the big dog since 2019. So evidently, she got what he wants out of this because United States is basically pissed off the rest of the world. So pissed off the rest of the world, went into the Gulf, and then they got back down. So I don't know. I don't know how many bullets the United States has left. No, no, we're gonna have to drop him a grade, DeAndre. I don't think it'll crumble, but it hasn't hit its low yet. We'll see if it breaks the buck. If it breaks below $1, then yeah, it's crumbled. It's finished. And SBC is under pressure right now. With fraction, how do you do that? And what are you gonna price it at, Faber? What would you price gold at if you got $100 trillion that you owe out there in the world? What you gonna price it at? Really? Okay. Okay. If you think so, if you really think so, I don't think so. I don't see it. But if you think so, let's do this. There's the link. Explain it to me. Why would Asia and Africa do business with the Brits? What do they have? Let me turn off my alarm. I'm supposed to be getting up. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. All right. Ain't nobody explained a positive Brexit outcome to me yet. Nobody's done the math because there's no math to be done. What does Britain have left to do deals with? To run on their economies run on banking and a service economy. What do they have left? Nah, they are. Well, the thing that's over. Well, I'm trying to figure out what do they have left. What do the Brits have left? Why does Africa and Asia need the British? Knowledge. Well, basically, is knowledge as far as what that other people don't have. Who who's trading what? Everybody keeps saying that. What do they have? They have knowledge. They can buy that cheap. And it's gonna be like Portugal, yeah, a reverse migration. That's what's happening right now. The thing is that the Brits basically were living off the basically the backs of the U.S. They have been since 1914. But I'm still wanting to know what do the Brits have? He's talking about knowledge, knowledge that the other people don't have. What is that as far as doing deals? Yeah, they might live there. They might live there, but the thing is that the Chinese are already starting a new banking system. They can deport white women. That's messed up. Oh, the Asians really don't want white women. That might work in Africa. It's not going to work in Asia. Last I heard, the Asians don't. The white women can't get a date in Asia. Last I heard. I'm still trying to get people to explain to me what the British have. They had to go make their prince marry a black woman or a half black woman just to get any kind of attention. And every time the Africa and Asia's done business with the Brits, they came out on a losing end. Why would they go back into that? Nah, I want to hear it. What deals are they going to make? What trading knowledge they're going to make? They don't who trade with who? Trade with Europe? They were tied to Europe, and basically there was the arbitrage between the pound in Europe, and basically United States has been keeping the pound afloat since 1914. The Eurozone is based on the theft of a whole lot of places, not just Africa. For 3 years, people have been telling me about what about the Brexit vote and the deals that Great Britain has that are all set up. And yeah, for 3 years I've been looking for it, and nobody's shown me anything. And evidently, if you look at the pound, most people don't think that's the case either. And then what is it? HSBC or HBSC? What is it? HBSC? They just laid off people. This is what's second and third LIBOR scandal about the British banks cheating. Really, sustainable modern infrastructure. Oh, get out of here, man. Oh, wait a minute. If you get on the call, man. Don't give me that stuff. China's built more infrastructure in the last 10 years than Britain's built in 200. Please get out of here with that. All the engineers are in China. All the manufacturing is in China. So where's all the cutting edge? Where are the two places where there's or three places there's cutting edge technology? And Antoine. In fact, why don't you get on, man, instead of type? No, no, no. I want you to answer me a question. Basically, what does Britain have that China doesn't? What does Britain have that China doesn't? That's what I want to know. Okay, you don't have to leave. What does Britain have that China doesn't? Because I can't find it. So why is Britain going on this whirlwind tour trying to beg all their former colonies, which they have shunned and abused. Okay, you're at work. You don't have to go, but the thing is, explain. You can't explain it to me. Britain doesn't have anything in China, so why would you go? So why would you go back to Britain? What has Britain done for their colonies in the last 50 years, last 100 years? We know white people the best. If that was the case, why go back to the Doha in 2006 when all the African countries up and walked out. Britain's last hurrah was Libya when your boy Barack Obama did him a favor. Of all things, but it's not equal. The thing is, it's not equal because you don't produce anything. What do you have to trade? The only thing you had left was to borrow and basically when you could have borrow and basically help facilitate development, but you didn't. That's too late now. They don't need you. In fact, your Africans are leaving, but a lot of your African kids that you trained are going back home because they see the writing on the wall. Well, that time is come and gone. That ship's already sailed, and everybody knows it. Now, I keep hearing this, but the thing is, everybody's talking with their hearts, and I understand. If you live there, I understand that you want your Britain to survive. Of course, it will. Yeah, but the thing is, Britain can't help them with that. Britain can't help them with that. Britain can't. Britain does not have the technology or the infrastructure to even help them. Where's all the technology and infrastructure building? Why would they go? Why would they go to Britain? The Germans are better at it. How can Britain help them with the infrastructure? What are they building? Last I heard, Belton Road was not being built by Britain. Last I heard, the biggest infrastructure project in the world was Belton Road. I don't see any British people, any British companies in on that. And it takes time. Rome was not built in a day. Isha. Um, Britain's last hurrah was 1914. The British Empire died in 1914. No, 1917. It died. Everybody's saying this kind of stuff when the empire's over. The European Union is dead. Okay, George Soros told you only basically as far as a viable economic entity, you guys have 25 years. Then it's too late. Well, it was already too late. Your move that you guys' move should have been in 2003. Britain, basically, Brexit is so Great Britain can protect itself because they don't want to get. They think the EU's going down. They don't want it to go down with them on board. They figure they have a better chance of surviving outside of the EU. That is their plan. That's like they've delayed it until till the last second. They're getting ready to jump, so they're leaving. All that stuff was just a delay. They wanted to keep one foot in just in case the European Union survived, but it looks like it may not. Basically, Deutsche Bank has $48 trillion of derivatives that they need to unload. Where they gonna unload it at? Basically, all the debt of Europe that Europe had as far as derivative debt got sucked up into Deutsche Bank, and it's been sitting there. But they didn't. They couldn't unwind all that paper. Britain's got a ton of paper it needs to unwind. Britain's in debt in debt up to its eyeballs. So we haven't even talked about the British banks yet. So when they start looking into their portfolios, we're gonna find a whole lot of stuff. They don't want to go down with the ship. Yeah, I figured that the first time I saw it. They don't want to go down with the ship because if they really wanted to leave, they could have left 4. They could have left 4 years ago. Possibly the language of the future. We don't know. Everybody still speaks English. Where do I? That is very difficult to tell. That is very difficult to tell where Britain's going to be. I think the Brits will try to go any place they can. So if evidently Scotland's getting ready to leave as soon as Brexit happens, they said they're going to jump ship. So the British Empire, the British Empire, the UK, the United Kingdom may start to break up itself. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, Smitty. 48 trillion. That's what Deutsche Bank has in derivatives. We still don't know what the UK did with all its derivatives. I know they didn't unwind all that paper. Nah, I'm waiting on, but he's not going to show up. I put up one Richard Martin post, and everybody loses their minds. uh, I don't think so. I don't think Europe has the heart or the stomach for another war. I think they're going to leave and go in peace. They're going to break up and then go their own way. I think Germany. Well, Germany's already started to go east. Civilization collapse? I don't know. Well, we'll see. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's decline, but not collapse. We're trying. Well, the thing is, we're trying to make it to 2025, right at this moment. Oh, no, the black pill is not for everybody. You're right. You're right, DeAndre. It's not for everybody. And Richard Martin is a Brit. You know, Richard Martin is Richard Martin is conservative, and he's a Brit, and he's been trumpeting up Brexit. But Richard Martin even sees the handwriting on the wall. Not actually. No, actually, it's probably Greece and Italy are probably in the biggest trouble. Uh, the whole world isn't built for collapse. Well, it's all because relationships still go on no matter whether you're in the middle of collapse or not. And most people don't even understand this. So you talk about what you understand. Now, it's not about white leadership. It's about what's going on. We're all connected. It's about the infrastructure. It has nothing to do with leadership at this point. What's going on in Italy? Oh, the banks are in trouble in Italy. Banks are in trouble. Their birth rate is way down. They don't have enough people that are working. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Portugal's the same thing. Portugal's trying to get people back in because so many young people left. They don't have enough people, so they're trying to get foreigners to come in and take their place because they don't have enough people. There's no such thing as hypergamy when the economy starts to crumble. It's called survival. We assume they're doing okay, but they're all connected. The thing is, you don't get it. They're all connected. Nah, it's not war debt. Because actually, your betters actually cashed in and ruined the whole system. The banking system was already always fragile, and if you screw it up, yeah, Portugal needs people. And how long that'll last, I don't know. But the thing is, they need people. I was just looking at it. They're trying to get foreigners to come in. So based on people's comments, it's starting to sound like many people believe the working existence or it's going to collapse without white people's leadership. Yeah. Well, it's going to be Chinese leadership. So are Chinese people or Chinese white people, Archer? Well, if the dollar crashes, then you'll know it. You'll know it when the bank holiday comes. You better stock up for food with your food then, because if there's a bank holiday, you won't be able to buy anything. Real wealth is where it's always been. It's called people. That's the only wealth that the world has. The human race has is people. The thing is, you don't have any. You're gonna lose your accounting system. Yeah, I don't. Well, there's no such. There was never anything such as hyper individualism. Those are just people running their mouths. The same people talk about hyper individualism. Same people actually going having to go for their unemployment benefits. People that are hyper individualists actually live off the grid. Okay. Well, they need money, and Chinese bring money. So that's one thing you guys have. They keep saying it's a good place to go to school. Well, I guess so. I guess you could call it a polar shift. Quigley called it a civilizational rotation. Do I have time to start up my esoteric series again? Uh, Possibly, but the thing is, there's many esoteric books. It depends on what angle you're going to take it at. And well, you might not want to live through it, depending on how bad it is. It's not an illusion. It's made up. Money's nothing but an accounting system. That's all it is. Accounting system of your labor. Well, it's not really a debt trap because how else you expect the Africans to pay for their infrastructure? They don't have the means to do it. They don't have the money to do it. They have to borrow. So instead of borrowing outright, well, they basically did borrow outright. If you can't pay it back, what do you have to give up? You got to give up some kind of infrastructure or land or something. It's basically it's a deal with the devil. But that's all you have. Can man us? Why would they man you? Empress Isha, I don't get it. We talking about man you. Why would they man you? Well, we'll see. Well, of course we need each other because it's the only way this country works. It's an agreement. How else will they pay for infrastructure, Antoine? Then it's not free. How else would you pay for it? You guys are getting it twisted. You guys are you think the Chinese or humanitarians? Come on now. They're business people. How else are they gonna pay for it? But you gotta get around. Actually, they're getting a good deal. The Europeans would have charged them more. Europeans were getting this. Europeans were getting it for nothing. So the worst, you had a bad deal for 200 years. You're actually getting a decent deal. It's actually getting it at market rates. So they're actually getting fair exchange, believe it or not. For all the deals they did with Europe, what they get? Why would they control your community in the U.S.? What would they do that for, Empress? Why are you limiting? How are you lamenting the fact? So were they supposed to stay backward for another 100 years? Why are you lamenting it? You should be happy that they did it. Oh, no problem, Mike. Should be happy they did it. What choice did they have? So they're gonna wait on Europe. That's what I've said that for the last 15 years. That Africa would take over in the 22nd century. You probably heard it because you probably heard it from me because I'm probably the only one that have said it. Well because they've used the money to actually fight wars instead of build infrastructure. They had plenty of money to build infrastructure. Why would I? It's dead unless it bounces. J.C. Penney is dead, man. A form of apartheid. Why would they do that? What you talking about? Miscegenation. What? Look how many. All the babies the Chinese men have dropped over Africa already. What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? You know how many babies the Chinese men have dropped in Africa already? Tell me miscegenation. You know how many Africans have Chinese wives? Chinese don't care about that, man. Basically the Africans pretty much gotten rid of the French, which is why you have yellow vest riots in France as we speak. They're slowly but surely cutting off the money. Hey, Geek Surgeon, what's up? They've been in South America for the past since the 1995. So you guys are just getting hip to it because I didn't tell you they were there. Who think owns the Panama Canal? Yeah, that's true. They have a shortage of women. Well, of course, they're in the Caribbean. Who you think's building a port for Jamaica and Cuba and Haiti? What up, Kendra? I'm supposed to be doing a video, um, a video that's based on the video you did yesterday about the empty vessels. But I'm taking somebody to the woodshed right now, but he won't come like a little bad kid. Africans busted open for you, you guys are funny. You guys are really funny. You guys really think that Africans will respond like black people? Well, they're women, so that's part of it. But also, that's the way you do business in Africa. But if you're African, if you want to really do business in Africa, you have to marry into the culture because that's like South Africa has a lot of wives, black wives, long before slavery. That's true. Daughters of the trade. You're right, Mike Vincent. Nah, he won't come to the woodshed, man. Nobody's coming to the woodshed. Women are women. Yes, exactly. Women are women the world round. Because nobody talks about when black men go over and bang other women across the world. Also, but the African women's supposed to be different. But the thing is, the Chinese are taking a chance of getting bred out. But it is what it is. Uh, Basically, the Chinese is more about culture than about genetics. All they'll do is just offload whatever manufacturing they're doing right now to the developing world, like other parts of Asia or even Africa. They'll just make Africa the manufacturing base, and they'll become the service class. Well, basically, they're going to become the technological hub of the world if they're not already. Not necessarily, Elias. You know that's not true. You don't have to marry into them to get the women. You know that's not true. There's strags everywhere, Elias. Well, basically, the same thing's happening with in Japan, according to DeAndre. He said the same thing's happening in Japan to get your numbers back up. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's part of it. Yeah. The the manufacturing facilities. Well, that's part of the deal. That's part of the deal they kind of agreed to back in with the death of Gaddafi. It's part of the deal. Even at that, Japan's numbers are too far down. It won't save them. Yeah, many tribes are, but you got to remember, there's 600 million women on the continent. Okay, we know how this works. Well, could be. I don't know. I haven't heard that, but I haven't heard anything about Toni Morrison. Well, she's up there, so I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, well, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I said it wouldn't take. People thought it would take 100 years. I didn't think it would take that long. Well, yeah, probably so. It probably less than that, but I say 3 generations. Well, actually, 2 generations, more likely. So another maybe 50 years. Yeah, you got 1.3 billion people on the continent. So you take what? Well, most of them are women. So you probably have like 650 million women. Well, yeah, white Brits are probably screwed. Screwed. I agree with that. Well, they're screwed anyway. What they Britain is if Britain screwed the banking system, they're no good. They're a banking center. They're no good. Yeah, 1.3 billion on the African continent. Yeah. Come on, Elias. If you're there, you should know this already. Hey, there's my boy. What's up, man? How's the little one? I mean, that's not rocket science. I mean, I've been, sometimes I say that's how I put that video up about the one. I've been doing this for 4 years, man. You guys should know this, like backwards and forwards. Good to hear it, Prince. Reginald, what's up? Anyway, final questions. Well, yeah, that does happen when it's called demographics, bruh. It's called demographics. What is the biggest problem going on in Europe now? Nah, it's a special occasion. This is woodshed time. Well, actually, I'm surprised I got 200 people watching. That's what I'm really shocked about. Yeah, demographics. I put this stuff up all the time, man. We've been talking about white demographics for quite a while. In fact, if you're in Great Britain, that should be the biggest thing. You guys should know that. Okay, no problem. And I've done, yeah, well, yeah, I've done a few videos on demographic cycle. I think I probably have to do it once a year. If you know demographics, you know a little bit about money, a little bit about demographics. The rest is pretty much is fairly easy over a long period of time. Yeah, because half the white men in Europe are infertile. That's why. It's like them they have to go travel to get pregnant. 50% of your men are infertile, or the white men are infertile, which is the elephant in the room, which is why your birth rate is cut in half, amongst other things. I think Mars will a viable. I think Mars will be the first colony because I think Mars is closer to the asteroid belt, and basically that's where all the money is the asteroid belt, which is where the United States should have been going 25, well, 30 years ago. Instead of trying to hold on to what they had, they should have gone out to the while they had the economic advantage, they should have gone out to the asteroid belt. If I did a stream every morning, man, you know what? If I did a stream every morning, um, I'd never get off. I would never get off. You have plenty of women here. Why do you need to find women on Mars? We got an overabundance of women here. I hope the Nazis good. I hope the Nazis do get their ethno state. I hope they do. I hope they kick all the immigrants out of Europe. Let Europe die, you know, peacefully. Once or twice a week. I just know. Yeah, I heard that. Just never opened the panel. That's true. He wants to get his Captain Kirk on. We're gonna send him up with that black ghetto doll that cusses when you have sex with her. Yeah, I'm sure we got green bitches here. Yeah, somewhere. Yeah, all colors. Keep it, and with genetic manipulation, you probably have plenty of green bitches. Just give it 10 years. Give it 10 years. You can make plenty of green broads if that's what you want. Most women don't have weave. You ain't shit. You ain't shit, Reginald. Nah, just you can make them have green skin if you want them to have green skin. Just one shot, change the color of the melanin. It'll be green. Or tattoo themselves green, probably so. No, I think she's honest about reparations. It's for brown people. Yeah, as long as we're first, I don't care what they do. After we get ours, I don't care what they do. I want to get mine first. What's going on, D? You can have whatever color people you want. I'm sure there will be silver people. There's always going to be some weirdo. I'm gonna have a silver child. Hey, SBI, what's going on? Well, Europe has no more. Europe fought for 1,000 years. They don't have any more fight in them. Well, they can't be $5. Whether they might line up for a check, but the thing is, they're not gonna get paid. It doesn't matter about the color. Well, basically, the colorism arguments don't have any validity anyway because the Negro class was actually made from mulattoes. Half the Negro class was mulatto, so there is no such thing as colorism. The Negro is a class; it's not a race. Why would they need to grow naturally fat asses? They can take a shot and get them. You know, as long as it's wet, we don't care. You know about that, Prince. Well, if the Africans wanted that, they should be helping. If Africans want us to invest reparations money in them, that they should be first in line to help us get it. Oh yeah, old picture of Jane. Oh, Jane Kennedy was a shit back then, man. She was a shit back then. She was the Nicole Murphy of her time. It will eventually die out as a race. No, they're not going to die out. They will decline. They're not going to die out. You basically everybody knows what Negroes are, and they kept very good track of Negroes. They know who Negroes are and who they aren't. They kept very good records. There's no way you can say that you're something that you're not. They keep very good records. They can track you all the way back to your parents if they really wanted to. Basically, what they found out is basically the black women produce more females than any other race, so they produce more wombs. That's part of the reason they can outbreed everybody else, which is what the Europeans are trying to get them to do. Slow down. I'd have to take Jane in her prime personally, even though I like me some Nicole Murphy, but I had to take Jane in her prime. Well, it's about trillions of dollars. They're not getting that much in foreign aid, Archer. If we get a few $1 trillion, they're not getting that much. Let's trust and believe. If they're getting that much, then where's the money? Favorite stocks in recession. I haven't even looked at the market. I couldn't even tell you. Um, I would say biotech is probably the best because biotech really hasn't exploded. Oh, okay. You in Manila? Okay. Wish I was in Manila, man. Having a good time. That might be a good idea. Everybody knows who Negroes are. They keep good track of us. So don't even get it twisted. They know who you are. They even got slave records of when your ancestors were sold in a big database. I would say I would if I were buying, I would wait. What I hear the key thing is for real estate investment is in a tourist market and basically doing B&B. The last I heard, I'd be cautious about buying in this environment if the banks are in trouble. Oh no, even a rainy season in the Philippines, even a rainy season. Possibly. The thing is, you still fight for it, whether you get it or you don't. Yeah, you can still find some. I'm sure the government has records if they really want to dig them up. You ain't got to go that far back because most of the immigrants, they have records. They keep better records on immigrants. Yeah, that if I was them, if I was going to do real estate right now, that's what I would do. Well, more like Airbnb. Ghana is the only one I've really been to. It's supposed to be going. My hope is to go to a bunch more, but before I leave this planet. The other trips I didn't take, I was, should have went to East Africa with the group, or should have went to Egypt with the group, should have went to South Africa with the group. I didn't go to, got kids, so I didn't go. I would say, I'd say at least a year, 2 years before you really, unless it's something cheap, unless you're buying something like in the middle of the country that's already depressed, I would not buy until, I wouldn't buy for a couple of years. Um, well, the two-thirds policy is it basically, the one-third policy is the viable people that actually want to stay black. That is what the one-third is. They do not want to integrate. I wanted to take the grandkids with me, but well now they're big, but I'm talking about this is years ago. I wanted to take. I was supposed to take trips. That wasn't about moving there. I wanted to take the grandkids with me. I think the grandkids would have been better raised there than here. All right, you gonna come help me, cats? How is Operation Secure the Bag, cats? We got to get you hooked up before all the chairs are gone. If you're gonna buy a house, depending on what the market is, man. If it's in the Midwest where the market is depressed, then you can buy. But because it's only so far down it can go. But if in the hot markets, I wouldn't buy it. I would not. I'd be real leery, man, about taking loans right now. Big bank loans right now. No, we call it Kimmit because we pronounce it Kimmit because that's what was inscribed on the reliefs KMT. Yeah, it's suicide to purchase at this point, especially if the banks are gonna if the banks gonna do a repeat of 2008. I'd be real leery. But you'll know within another year. You'll know next year whether it's gonna stabilize out or not. Especially if the Chinese are gonna start pulling money out of the United States. Yeah, Kemet is just the name that the black folks here give it because of the initials KMT on the reliefs. What is a viable investment in the economy? It depends on how nimble you are. But I would say um, anything to do with AI, and especially anything to do with biotechnology, because that has to explode because healthcare is too expensive. So they're going to have to. Yeah, my brother just brought a truck, and they can't find my. Yeah, he actually did all his deal online. So he got they. I think he got like $6,000 or $7,000 off his truck. The best case scenario of looming best case is basically is a slow decline. Um, Slow decline, slow unemployment, more automation, more people with places where people can actually become entrepreneurs. But that is the best case. It's going to be a slow decline. Yeah, yeah. Basically, there's some depending on what city you're in. But if you go to Midwest, like Kansas or Missouri or places like that, um, basically, or places down south, basically they're already in a recession as far as real estate because they're moving out. The thing is do you want to live next to unemployed, angry white people? Go. Just pick a spot. Pick some place in the Midwest and go. Just go look at with Zillow, and they'll give you a fair idea of the prices. But I don't think there's enough blood in the water right now. So I would wait for the blood to start flowing before I start picking up real estate. You be able to pick that up if you got money, you've got cash, sit on it. If what comes, what I think is coming, then you should be able to pick up. You know, start picking up property cheap. If you stay away from the emerald cities. Well, they haven't accepted it legally, but women are already polygamous, man, especially United States. You can't do it legally, but they already are. See, the unemployed, angry white people already moved away. I'm noticing more African and Latino immigrants in my neighborhood. That's true. But you're in a sweet spot though, Cats. You're in New Orleans, so that's the Emerald City. Yeah, you could. What are you? There's plenty of places in the world you can retire dirt cheap. There's far more places to retire dirt cheap than there are places that are high, and it's going to get probably worse. The thing is, how much will your dollar be worth by the time you get there? It should be too well, gigolo, sir. We ain't gonna even talk about Prince. We already know what you about. I don't think your wife is gonna let you loose again. Emerald cities or these tech hubs where the real estate is high, like LA's, San Francisco, Austin, New York, DC, where they've been gentrified, you've been pushed out. Atlanta's an Emerald City. In fact, I had to do a video on that Emerald City. So many videos, so little time. What are the rents like where you're at, Cats? New Orleans used to be a good. They used to call New Orleans a Big Easy, man. No more though. You used to be able to go to live cheap in New Orleans, man. Have a good time. No more. Um, Guatemala's okay. Guatemala's okay. Basically, man, when I was down in Guatemala, man, for the 3 months, man, I actually saved money. It was so cheap. The whole cost of living is cheap in Guatemala. Rent, food, transportation. But I think it's cheaper on the continent. I really do. Although Guatemala has a better infrastructure than the continent does right now, or at least it had. Oh yeah, well you're living in Emerald City. Washington D.C. is the Emerald City. Oh yeah, yeah, boy. I remember New Orleans, boy. New Orleans used to be they used to call it the Big Easy, man. But since the flood, no more. Yeah, Emerald City, you can get what you need anywhere in the Emerald City. Any Emerald City, you can get what you need. We'll import it if we don't have it. I don't know. Well, Cats is in New Orleans. But thing is, it's expensive. They some places they're leaving like that on purpose. Well, the tourists do, but I'm talking about the locals don't. Most of the locals are either in Atlanta or Houston. Well, not most of them, but a lot of the locals are still in Atlanta and Houston and never came back. Yeah. Uh, Basically, New York is third behind San Francisco and Los Angeles. For people in Los Angeles, New York is a bargain. Yeah, rent's high in New Orleans. It's Emerald City. It's party time. Yeah, I think they're leaving it like that, cats. So as money comes in, the white people have a place to move if they want to go to New Orleans. If now talk about a city that the gays want, that's New Orleans. LV, are you in Vegas? LV McD. One place is really cheap is believe it or not, is Philadelphia. You want to go to a big city that's cheap? Philly. Philly's fairly cheap if you want to live there. Baltimore is cheap. Yeah, Philly's cheap compared to the Emerald Cities. Philly's cheap. Baltimore's cheap compared to Emerald Cities. There's a lot of those old eastern towns that are cheap compared to. Man, I've been to El Paso a few times, man. Yeah, it's just never liked El Paso. Orlando, okay. See, that's what L.A. was. Average rent for L.A. was like 10 years ago. 1,100. That's 10 years ago. So compared to us, it was cheap. Best places in Philly that are real cheap though. Like I said, see Boogie's in Baltimore. No, Baltimore's fairly cheap. Oh, she died today. Okay, Toni Morrison. All right. Oh, at 88. Yeah, She lives a good life. Oprah made sure she lived a good life. Well, that or if you have to live on the street, what's the difference between that and the bottom out economy? If a crash happens, man, and hopefully it doesn't, then none of this will even matter. Well, I keep hearing it's boring. I thought Philly was pretty lively, man. Oh yeah, the winters are weird. That's true. I won't say if you want to live in a big city, but if you want to live in the Midwest, with no crime, you can live in the Midwest with no crime, or up north in the northern white counties, there's no crime and it's cheap. Do you want to live there? No, well, there's no jobs though. Well, The Color Purple was not written by Toni Morrison. Yeah, well, the thing is, do you have a job? Can you live in the economy? That's the problem. It's not even a matter of. It's really not a matter of it being inexpensive or finding inexpensive places to live. That's not the issue. Do those inexpensive places have employment? And most of them don't. That's the issue. Not even the elites. The elites are, if it crashes again, the elites are going to get hit really, really hard. Yeah, well, yeah, they probably are selling stocks because it's called a rotation. The thing is, um, if the banks actually plummet, the normal business cycles and real estate cycles have gotten thrown out of whack by the Fed. So the thing is, nothing's going to make sense. So the normal rotation may or may not work. It depends. You can buy a house, dude. You probably buy a house cash somewhere. Um, thing is a spot that you want to live? Plenty of spots in the Midwest. I remember it was a few years ago. Man, you could have had a three-bedroom house with a basement for in Kansas, man, for like $25,000, lock, stock, and barrel. Had to little fix it up a little bit, but you could have had it. Hey, Soul Shader, what's up? No, you could have had Google Fiber. That's what I was looking at. That Kansas City, Kansas, Google Fiber, high speed fiber, internet, uh, the whole works. A three-bedroom house. Just had to deal with the winters. Depends on where you living in Texas, David Little. Hey, Art, what's going on? Reading the New Order of the Barbarian. Oh, okay. Yeah, if you're gonna buy a house, because I have a friend of mine, she's in real estate, said be real careful. You know, don't the environment will actually improve the communication between genders. I'm not even worried about it. The women might be hard headed, but the thing is, they ain't gonna be hard headed they're already the head's already starting to soften up. And we can buy any developing country can buy a house for cheap. Thing is, do you want to live there, and can you live there? Yeah, Austin's getting real expensive. Austin's the Emerald City. You could do that. I would wait. Depends on where the land is, and do you want to live there? I had dropped the link, I'm getting ready to get off in like 20 minutes. But if you want to jump on, see Boogie, I'll drop the link again. Cause I'm getting ready to get off in about 20 minutes, bottom of the hour. Cause my victim for the woodshed, he didn't show up. Now, they're always gonna be hard headed. The thing is, they're gonna get right. I am not even worried about them. Women adapt to the environment. I don't think Texas has really only. If you want to count Dallas as an Emerald City, I wouldn't count Dallas as an Emerald City. They only have one, as far as I know, which is Austin. Dallas, I wouldn't count Dallas as an Emerald City. No, well, they have to be pragmatic. It's called survival. But you see, Boogie, if you want to jump on, jump on. All right, unmute yourself.
Hey, what's going on, Black Knots?
Hey, what up?
Oh, ain't nothing, man. Hey, man, check it out.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've been West Coasting it a lot lately, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so here's my new motto,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of you guys on the West Coast are
Mm-hmm.
spoiled. I
Okay.
mean, I'm talking about these women. Now, the
Mm-hmm.
average West Coast chick
Mm-hmm.
and the average East Coast chick, we
Mm-hmm.
talking about night and day.
Okay.
I mean, these chicks out there, yo, man, they eating avocado ice cream,
Mm.
gluten-free waffles.
Some
Uh,
of them. Some of them, yeah.
uh,
Some
you
some
know
of
what I
them.
mean?
Some of them are chowing down at the Red Lobster in Fatburger too.
You
So
know, all kind of exotic berries,
yeah.
of carbonated water. I'm like, y'all chicks is crazy, man. But so yeah, I'm fucking with the West Coast heavy now.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta understand, this stigma that I have on the West Coast
Mm-hmm.
really is just dropping, man. Because growing up, I'm telling you, man, this East Coast West Coast thing was real. I don't know how real it was for y'all, but growing up, we was like, yo, these West Coast
We,
guys,
we didn't give a shit, man. We don't care.
you know what I mean? But now,
You've been on the West Coast. If you grew up on the West Coast, why would you care what if somebody thinks?
No, I mean, not like that. But I'm saying,
Like,
as far as how we viewed, going there.
uh-huh.
Because all we heard was the stories, like, all right, I mean, East Coast niggas going to West Coast,
Hmm.
that's not a good look.
Yeah.
Yo,
Oh, who came up with that?
who that?
East Coast niggas didn't want you to come. You ever see him come back?
Nah, man.
So exactly. I'll tell you a story, man. This happened. This happened. God, it happened damn near 40 years ago, right? It was I think UCLA was playing Illinois. I think it was 1982, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm,
And me and my girlfriend were actually walking downtown. If you ever been downtown LA, basically there's a elevated walkways, right, where you can actually walk around all the big buildings and all the hotels, right? That's
mm,
like maybe like 15, 20 feet off the street, right? So we were walking by the Bonaventure. We just walking around, right, eating lunch, and these two guys actually in town for the Rose Bowl, right?
mm,
And it was January. It was no, it was December 30th, right, just before the Rose Bowl, and it's 80 degrees. And this dude from Chicago said, "Shit, man, I'm gonna call home, tell him pack my shit. I ain't never coming back."
Yo, man. I mean, yeah, man. I like it out there. But I always felt like I was
Mm,
kind of like a bit of a West Coast historian because,
mm,
once again, I read Monster Cody's book and
mm,
Tookie's book. So,
mm,
all of these OGs, I knew their names. You know what I
mm,
mean? I already knew who Big U was.
mm,
You know what I mean? All these kind of guys, man. So,
mm,
you know, um, even reading the book, the Monster Cody's book,
mm,
you go towards the end, he said he was getting apprehended by the LA County Police, and
mm.
he had a direct line to Maxine Waters. I was like,
Yeah,
wow. That's how.
because he was shot caller.
Yeah, yeah.
All the shot callers had direct lines to Cecil Murray and whoever's sitting on the council, because if something went down in the hood, uh, they need to call. They need to have somebody to call. But that's in any city. If
Hmm.
you're a shot caller, you see you in a gang or you in some kind of organized crime or something like that, and you're a shot caller, the mayor's gonna have your number.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's not unusual. So basically, he's a shot caller, and basically, and at least once a year they would actually have the shot callers have a meeting down at the AME downtown, right,
Hmm.
where Maxine Waters and all these people actually went to church, and Cecil Murray would have a round table with all the shot callers, all the gang shot callers. So
Hmm.
they would get to know him, and they would get to know all the other folks. So basically, that used to happen. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man. Like now, finally get to go out to the West Coast, man. See,
Mm-mm,
see a lot of this stuff that we used to see on movies, man. I'm like, all right, man. This, But what I like the most about it is
mm-hmm,
compared to East Coast living,
mm-hmm,
it's not that hustle and bustle vibe. Like everybody. Okay, so if you go to the East Coast,
mm-hmm,
let's say you walking down the street in Baltimore, man. You know what I
mm-hmm.
mean? And you just want to be polite to somebody, like, hey, man, what's going on? They'll walk right past you a lot of times.
Okay.
Everybody just on their grind.
Yeah.
But we used to it. But you go to the West Coast, people are a bit more relaxed,
Yeah.
chill. I go out
No,
there, get a lot of sleep and shit.
no winner.
Yeah, man. So I'm like, oh man, you guys are talking about women? Shit.
Yeah,
Man,
we got problem. Well, you ain't you didn't grow up here. You don't have the same problems.
true, true, true.
Well, you wait till you get to know them. Bitches, the bitches everywhere, man. You know it. Come
Yeah, I
on, man.
know.
You've been all over the world. So they just say, they have their cultural differences, but guess what? They're all the same.
Mhm. Yeah, man, but I'm digging it, man. But yeah, man, even kind of moving past that,
Mm,
you know, one of the things I noticed too, man, is you talk about women,
mm,
like a lot of these cats. I don't think I don't think a lot of these dudes have a good sample size of the information they're going off of. When they talking about women, I just can't see it, man, because even my experiences with females, man. Obviously, you're going to have your bad apples, but I've had some real good experiences with women for whatever reason. Shit ain't really work. But I'm like, well, I'm hearing a lot of these stories,
Hmm.
from guys, and I just sit back and listen. I'm always around, and I'm like, well, it, it, y'all can't be dealing with enough women. Um,
Well, you can deal with a lot, but the thing is, it only takes what's it, one bad apple can spoil a whole bunch.
mhm.
If you get caught by one of them bad apples, man, you get run through the ringer. Yeah, you gonna have some scars. You gonna feel some kind of way.
No, I could dig it.
You just ain't got yet.
Oh no, I think that. No,
Yeah,
I
if you
think
ain't
that.
been got, you ain't got. Well, you got a you got a seed somewhere, man.
Man, I was married before.
Huh? You already?
Yeah, I was
Oh,
married before, man.
oh, okay. Well, you got then, man. You know how it is.
Yeah, it but it wasn't as bad as maybe other guys. Like even in my divorce, everything that I gave up was like, here, well, take one of the cars, take this,
Oh,
because
you got it was amicable. So
yeah, it wasn't a real traumatic situation for me, so that's why I don't
it's,
necessarily speak down on it.
well, you could have my baby mama like mine chasing you down after 20 years, man.
God damn. God damn. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I do see it. My
Yeah.
eyes don't lie to me. I do understand what's going on out here.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? So, I would never deny that.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Well, but yeah, there's some guys that don't have a large sample size, and some guys when I question them, um, they call themselves non-select or incel, something like this. So go through the question and find out you're rejecting a whole lot of women out of fear. Every time I ask them, okay, tell me about your dating life. Well, women don't like me. Okay. Well, have you ever been on a date? Well, yeah. So how many women have you dated? Um, they say, well, 30. Okay, so out of 30 women that you dated, you couldn't bag a couple. Well, they weren't my type. So why'd you date them if they weren't your type? Well,
mhm.
it didn't work. Well, then this is a choice. This has nothing to do with them.
Nah, nah. Yeah, you got a lot of that going on out here too,
Oh
man.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, so it's from what I've seen, the full story is not being told because you put a lot of these cats, man, around some nice looking chicks, man. I didn't know guys actually, get small anxiety attacks.
They do, yeah, because they're not. Depends on. It depends. When I came up, we're used to being around women, but the thing is, the millennials, for whatever reason, have a delayed adulthood because they didn't get to go
Mhm.
out. Because I raised a millennial, so I know we drove them to school, we drove them home, so they didn't get a chance to go outside and play freely, like we did. So okay, he'll be back. He probably can hear me. They didn't get to interact freely. So what happened is what we're seeing now is add you real quick. So what we're seeing now is that a lot of guys are acting like, say, like guys in their mid 20s are acting like they're 15,
Mhm.
and the guys in their mid 30s are acting like they're in their early 20s.
Yeah,
And we don't understand it because we went through all this shit, right? So say, wait a minute, you're 30 years old. Why are you still having anxiety attacks about talking to women? It should be something natural,
yeah.
and they're not because they haven't socially matured to that level yet. So you have a lot of guys that haven't socially matured, and then and then if you're supposed to be uh, uh, socially mature at 25 or 30, and you try to go out and do it, it's embarrassing because you're already supposed to know. So there's a lot of fear that's associated with it, especially when it comes to sex. If you're not confident in sex, one thing that keeps guys from actually approaching women is if I have to actually sleep with her, what's going to happen? Because I'm not really confident in doing that.
Yeah, and no, you're definitely right about that last statement. But like even myself growing up,
Mm-hmm.
from the time I got from home from school,
Mm-hmm.
put the books back down, man, and I was outside, man,
Well,
for the
see,
most part.
you were, but the thing is, a lot of millennials weren't.
Yeah, and I mean, but that experience
Yeah,
alone is just kind of just give you a certain social IQ
yeah,
that you can't learn anywhere. Just pick it up.
yeah,
Just learn how to deal with other people in general, not just women, just dealing with people. A
yeah.
lot of these motherfuckers, that I would say of the incel crew, they even have a hard time dealing with men.
They're not incels, man. It's voluntary. They're scared.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well. That group of guys that are
yeah, yeah.
scared,
Well, we
right?
call them incels, but they're actually
Mhm.
voluntarily celibate
Yeah.
because they get approached. They're too scared to even talk to them sometimes.
Hmm.
Close the deal. Yeah, but I know what you're talking about. But the thing is, they were actually limited by the because that's what we're taught is boomers, right? Okay, because we were out there and we went through the bullshit, with being out there on the street and stuff like this. So we're not going to raise our kids like that. We're actually going to protect them so they don't have to go through it. Well, we should have made them go through it.
Yeah.
We didn't make them go through it.
Yeah, man. That's very important to somebody's upbringing too, man.
Hmm.
I didn't even realize how important it was to, I got more immersed in this YouTube stuff and kind of realized where the problem lies for a
Hmm.
lot of guys.
Hmm.
And it's like, okay, it's just, a
Yeah,
lot of guys are very smart. They can build the rocket ship, but they can't
yeah.
figure this other thing.
We didn't figure this other thing out. Yeah. Why?
Like
Why?
even,
Why you think why you think I brought I talked Kevin into coming into this sector
Mhm.
exactly for that because there's a lot of guys they're smart, they got money, they got education, but they're socially awkward.
Yeah.
And how do you change that? Okay, you need somebody that's good at bringing that out of people, and Kevin's one of those people.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, dealing with other human beings, man, there is
Mhm.
an art to it, man, because you're
Yeah.
dealing with emotion. You got to be able to read people. Got to be very perceptive and even aware of yourself. So, like I say, if I was to trace it all the way back to me
Mhm.
being in seventh, eighth grade,
Yeah.
being outside from I don't
We,
know
we,
4 o'clock to 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, you probably had parents a little bit more liberal. They probably started out like 5 or 6 years old. They didn't start at 12.
Hmm.
You probably they let you go outside for a little while. But you probably still sit on the porch, on the stoop and watch you play. But you got to interact at 5, 6, 7 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas there's tons of papers talking about it now because now they see the results. And then when they get to school, they're taught, but they're actually controlled about how they interact with each other.
Hmm.
In other words, more controlled than they used to be. You can't fight, or you can't squabble. You have to use your words and all that kind of stuff instead of letting kids work shit out. So it's where they were raised and where they were taught, and then when they get adulthood, now I got to figure it out.
Yeah, it's kind of like Game Changer because okay, so Game Changer is an engineer, right?
Yeah.
And one of the reasons me and him kind of like
Yeah.
we used to do live streams together a lot, but like we played off each other because we was a complete opposite. Game Changer was way more analytical than I was,
Hmm.
and you know how engineers think. Well, if I
Hmm.
do this over here, then I'll get a reaction over here, and
Hmm.
everything got to connect. And
Hmm.
sometimes I'd be like, "Yo, Game Changer, chill, dog." Ain't even, you know what I mean? Sometimes I would have to be the voice of reason for him. He would
Hmm.
have to be the voice of reason for me,
Hmm.
and
Me and him don't get along.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. But I'm just saying, like
Yeah.
like even
Yeah.
a lot of engineer guys that I've
Yeah.
met, have a very technical brain,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
their their gift is going to be that curse, because in their world, then that's going to make them rich. But in society, that can rub a lot of people the wrong way when you always overanalyzing shit. So that was always my thing with Game Changer. I'd be like, yo, chill, man. Like just chill. Be in the moment, man. Why you
Because okay, because believe it or not, I was a STEM major, chemistry,
Mhm.
right? So I'm been around those kind of guys all my life. I know what the problem is. What Game Changer's problem is, he wants to be right. He thinks that he
Mhm.
has the correct answer and he doesn't.
Mhm.
And trying to tell him that he doesn't have the correct answer, he doesn't believe it.
Mhm.
Well, that's not gonna be nothing like me because I know what the questions to ask him.
Hmm. Yeah.
I know exactly what questions. I know how you think. I know exactly what questions to ask you.
Hmm.
And I know what your problem is, but the thing is, you don't want to get out of your own head to actually do what you need to do to be the person you need to be. You can't be that person because everybody's not analytical. Okay, and
Yeah.
if you're dealing with women who are emotional, that's definitely the wrong way to deal with them.
Hmm.
Whereas, where if I mean, I probably, if I really wanted to, I could explain the game changer, the science of actually getting women, break it down scientifically, what to do, how to do it, with sense to wear, how to respond to colors, how to respond to tones and vibrations and stuff like. I could actually break it down to the point where scientifically he would understand it.
Hmm.
The thing is, he wants to be an asshole, so I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That, but no, but you're right, because
Mhm.
that's for a guy that thinks like that,
Yeah.
that's all he's gonna understand because you try to explain human emotion to this guy,
Hmm.
and you know, so a lot of things for me when I dealing with people is just
Hmm.
based off my instincts, right?
Yeah.
I don't.
Ba- ba- well, basically, just like any other thing, if you're an engineer or a chemist, something like that, it's called fucking trial and error.
Mhm,
Everybody learns by trial and error. You learn by doing. Okay.
mhm,
Everybody learns by doing. Even whether you're an engineer, whether you're a chemist, mathematician, you don't roll out of bed with the right answer. Okay, you got to struggle with that shit. And the thing is
mhm.
that they've never struggled with that side because they think because you've been told that what you're doing is a lot harder than what everybody else is doing. So when I go to this side, I'm supposed to figure it out because I'm so smart. It don't work that way. You got to struggle with it just like everybody else.
Yeah, yeah, man. So that's something that I used to always talk to him about, man. I'd be like, "Yo, man, you got to chill, man. You fucking up the vibe right now." And I would say, um, like he didn't mind being talked to like that because he knew it wasn't disrespectful. I mean, because these guys know that they live in their head.
Hmm.
While I'm talking, he's working it out in his brain. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Instead of being in the moment, he's trying to figure out.
Yeah, and I'm basically somebody like me telling him what he's thinking, and
Yeah,
he gets mad.
I'm like, dog, chill, be in the moment.
Uh-huh. I want
Everything will work
I want
itself
to
out.
prove to you that that I'm not socially awkward. Okay, well, tell me about yourself. And
Mhm. Right.
then he shuts up.
I mean,
Dude,
but
come on, man. I know.
I've been dealing with. I done met so many socially awkward guys in my
Mhm,
life that I, I totally understand their plight, right? That's something that I would never just dismiss. Like, I wouldn't
mhm,
call these guys lame or whatever. But
mhm,
what I try to do is, because I got friends like that in my personal life,
mhm,
I try to just provide a balance for them. So let's say we all go out to hang out.
mhm.
I've had guys I gave pep talks before we went out. I'd be like, yo, dog, we about to go chill.
Okay.
Don't start that shit tonight. I had to tell them. We're gonna have some drinks. It's probably gonna be women lingering around. If these women come and talk to us, if you start that shit, it's gonna get ugly. You know what I mean? I would have
Yeah.
to tell them, be in the
Yeah.
moment for the night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But
Well, the thing is, Rom told me this a long time ago. He said you could never, why I could never make money being a dating coach, right?
mhm,
Because I make it too simple. I break it down too simple because I don't I think about being a coach just like I think about being an athlete. Okay,
mhm,
basically you give them drills. You break it down to the point of what skills do they need. Okay, and first thing if say I got if a social worker would do would actually listen. First thing I have to do is say okay, regardless of where you work, what I want you to do is work at a call sales center where you have to make cold calls for 4 hours a day. So, well, why
mhm.
am I doing that, BGS? Because you need to learn how to be rejected,
Yeah.
how to get be rejected, make the next call, deliver the line, be rejected over and over again. So, out of 100 calls, you maybe get 3 people to listen to you. Okay, you do that for 6 months. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to get used to being rejected.
Mhm.
That's the first thing the first thing that you're afraid of when you talk to a woman is being rejected. That's the first thing you need to get over. You need to develop a thick skin because I could tell you, Alan Roger Curry said the exact same thing. I said, if you give out a good game, your hit rate is only going to be about 3%. And so, yeah, I don't know if you can hear me or not. We'll wait on him. Okay. and said, okay, after the second thing I would tell them to do, I said, either take a stand up comedy class, or take any kind of comedy class, basically, so you can actually have a script. Okay, I don't know with this, whatever StreamYard is pretty unforgiving uh, about bumping people off. I don't know why. So it's StreamYard is pretty unforgiving.
Yeah,
I
man, just keep talking because I can hear you, but
Oh, you okay? Okay.
yeah,
The
like
second
it'll
thing.
drop me off, and I just gotta just come back. I don't know
Okay.
what that
The,
was.
the the second thing is basically the reason that you make them take stand up comedy is because you need to be able to be comfortable in front of a crowd. If you can try to be funny in front of a whole crowd or whole crowd of people, it's no big deal to actually talk to one woman
Yeah,
and be funny and be humorous or talk about stuff. In other words, you're used to talking delivery line, which people are most guys are uncomfortable doing. Second thing is basically is about sex. Okay, get you some porn, get you a couple of books, and get you a fleshlight and practice. Do
yeah.
those three things because those are the three things that are keeping you from being successful. The rest is just trial and error. See, because if you do that, then one, if you get those skills under you, the next thing is basically like my boy used to say, I'm gonna talk to find out what your baseline is. If it's a 5, it's a 4. If it's 6, 6 and above, I'm gonna talk to them. I'm gonna meet 100 women a week, a month. No matter if I have to stop on the street, I'm in a club, in a grocery store, wherever it is. I said, if I see a 6, I'm gonna come over to her and deliver my line, whatever your line is, and
Well,
get you
here's
a
my
card.
thing.
Get you a card, and say, hey, I am BGS, and like my buddy used to say, I am BGS, and I'm collecting smiles today. Would you like to donate? Here's my card in case you do. If she says no, I say, well, keep my card just in case. You might need it sometime. I walk off and deliver the line to the next woman. And then basically, after you deliver it enough times, and you do one or two, one thing you get comfortable. The second thing is you know exactly who responds to your sales pitch, because that's all it is, a sales pitch. Once you do that, then the rest is history. Basically, then it's just a matter of doing it. Getting out there and just like learn how to dribble or shoot a ball or rebound or catch a ball. It's called repetition and practice.
Well, so I constantly tell guys.
Mm,
So
mm,
particularly when I was in middle school, first
mm,
couple years of high school, man,
mm,
I had this real bad speech impediment, dog.
mm.
I had stutter and stammer. That shit was a mess, right?
Uh-huh.
Um, and I never took speech therapy or nothing. You know, I just figured out a few techniques on my own, but
Mm,
mainly when I joined the military is when a lot of that just stopped
mm,
because I don't know, it just brought something else out of me. But I would say one of the biggest things that kind of got me, oh yeah. So my point of saying that was
mm,
because I had the stutters and stammers when I was a kid,
mm,
it gave me a bit of a social anxiety.
mm.
Obviously, I didn't want to talk in public, right?
Right.
But once I joined the military, I had no choice.
Right.
I literally didn't have a choice. And at first, I would try to get out of things or whatever. And then, that shit ain't going to work. So, and then I went from that to competing for these military boards, like, Soldier of
Mm,
the Month, Soldier of
mm,
the Year, whatever, right?
mm,
Even when you get promoted, you got to go to a board where, you got all the sergeant majors, all the first sergeants, and, you show up in your uniform and
mm,
you got to
mm.
present yourself
Right.
to deem that you're worthy. And
Right.
after doing that, 8, 9, 10 times, and I even competed for Soldier of the Year. That knocked a lot of my social anxiety
Right.
out. And then I realized I'm kind of funny. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Because I would walk in with this I don't give a fuck attitude, and it's a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of sergeant majors with these grills on their face, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got to play tough and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they would just be looking,
Mm-hmm.
and I would just walk in like, all right, here we go. They
Mm-hmm.
about to, and and everybody knew my nickname,
Mm-hmm.
so they would call me by my nickname and shit because I was kind of popular at the time. So I would walk in, and I would just be saying the craziest shit to these guys, whatever that was on my mind. Because the thing about it is, if you go to a military board,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't know the answer to a question, you better say something, or at least be like, well, I don't know right now. I'm gonna get back to you later. But don't just be up there like, and I would just say crazy shit and just make them laugh. But that got me out of a bit of my shyness, man, of even talking. And once I started doing that, started getting to a lot of heavy reading and working on my stammers, I was able to pretty much put that chapter of my life behind me, like boom. You know
You
what I
did the
mean?
work.
I ain't starting that shit no more.
You
So
did,
I
you,
mean,
you did the work. You did the work. Yeah.
yeah, man, I've been there where a lot of these guys are at times too, because I even faced the ridicule of, you know, young girls, especially black girls. Jesus Christ. Like when you're young, they can be mean. Because they'll tell you right to your face
Can be.
whatever's wrong with you.
And that can be. They are.
Whatever's wrong with you, they're gonna let you know.
Yeah. Especially on the East
So
Coast, I'm sure.
if you coming through with a stutter, fam, they gonna roast you. But this built up my scar tissue though. Like I didn't let it defeat me. It just gave me, a different catalyst for change. But some guys have defeated them. So for me, man, I've been where a lot of these guys are at. And I try to tell these guys, like, yo, man, just because you're that way today, don't mean tomorrow's gonna be different. You don't have to necessarily,
but you have to give, some people can find their own way, but some people have to be given drills. Gotta give them drills. What's the problem? What drills can you give them that they can do? That will actually start slowly but surely pushing them out of it. Okay, like I said, the phone sales. Okay, you get on the phone, you're gonna have anxiety just like anything else. But the thing is, you get used to it. The thing is, but they can ease their way into it. Same thing with the stand-up comedy class. Okay, yeah, but the thing is, it's a class you can ease your way in. They can understand that. If they're gonna do whatever they're gonna do at home, they can ease their way into it.
Yeah.
Because you put them in front of a woman, they're gonna fall apart.
Yeah.
They go out and talk to 100 women. They're gonna talk to 3 and fall apart. I can't do this. I know what they can do because I hear it all the time. I can't do it. Well, try this first.
Yeah.
And then once they do that, it said, okay, dude, you get rejected 100 times a day. What's one more? Go talk to her.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
Like I say, well, like you say, what the hell? I'm in front of the board. I've been there once. Get social anxiety after a couple times. I've done this 5 times or however many times. I know the drill. It's no big deal. I know exactly what to say. Eventually, you're going to get used to it. The thing is, you will get that scar tissue.
Yeah,
and that's what you want to build up. That's what they don't have. You can hear it. Well, what do I say? Don't worry about what you're going to say. Get rejected and move on to the next one.
Yeah.
But what if I get shot down and she embarrasses me? We'll get in the car, go across town, start on the other side of town or something. But the thing is, don't worry about it. That's why I wouldn't do it I wouldn't put them in a bar. Go do street game. Do it. Street game is the grocery store, the park, whatever. In other words, wherever you see a woman, talk to her. You don't have to talk to her, sleep with her, just talk to her. And get rid of the social, because all it is fear inside their brain. It's that's all it is. I would say 99% of them. I mean, there's a small percentage of they're really working with a deformity or something that's wrong with them, but most of them are. It's just in their head.
Yeah. Also, man, spending a lot of time by yourself, that shit ain't good. To me, I look at everything as having a balance, man. You know what I mean? Having a balance. So even when I catch myself, let's just say on YouTube too much, and I'll catch myself, I'm like, okay, now I got to go balance this out with real life just to keep my, just to keep my mentals in order, man. I'm like, all right, let me go call some people by their real names in real life instead of, MGTOW 733, Black Nuts, right? I get tired of that shit. So everything in life for me is just keeping a balance, man. And if I can do that, man, I'm pretty good. You know what I mean? So spending a lot of time by yourself, man, that's the place where you learn to live in your head, dog.
That's funny, man. I didn't know walls could move, man.
Like a motherfucker.
Look like a wall moving, man. Like an earthquake and shit, man. Whoa, going back and forth.
You missed the good shit when I was doing the sleds.
Charles Faulkner, the Strag Killer.
Yes. The Strag Man cometh.
officer of the goddamn law.
How y'all doing?
Pretty good.
What's
What's
up?
going on, man?
My man C40. My
What's up, man?
nigga from Baltimore that has the ladies asking for more. Whoa! I have the whole gym looking at me when I did that. Love it.
Yo, but yeah, man. This shit. A lot of guys spending way too much time by themselves, man, and
Yeah.
how to live in your brain, man, and you know what I mean? Because I had this old timer used to tell me that when I was young. He used to be like, man, stop living in your goddamn head. You know what I mean? Because I used to overthink shit like, well, you know, like, and kind of worry about shit, man. They be like, stop living in your head, man. You haven't even done it yet.
Yeah. Well, that's normal. That's normal. But you need to. That's like when in the old days when they taught you to swim, they just throw you in the water.
It works for me. That's how I got over nervousness. I want to show you this BGS.
All right. What's
This is
up?
when my physical therapy. It's on my gym time.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's nice.
Used to be a bank.
Yeah.
Look at that turf.
Oh, that's nice, man. Nice spot.
That motherfucker's shit. Goddamn physical therapist.
Uh huh.
Had my black ass doing all this goddamn sled work.
For the knee, huh? Build up
Put a
that
knee
knee.
on the knee.
Mm.
But he said the knee's great. He's like, it's a miracle. He's still working.
Man, you too top heavy, man.
Well, she said I'm bottom heavy as well. So how you
No, that was my problem, man. That was one of my issues that I had at one point.
Uh-huh.
I got really top heavy, and you know, I wasn't doing a lot of because I was doing a lot of running, but I wasn't doing a lot of squats and weights
Okay.
in my legs. But I did a lot of running and shit,
Mm-hmm.
and I was a bit too top heavy, man.
That's
Yo, that's the
too.
black man problem, man. We don't believe in working legs and shit, man. Yo, black men, man, we'll fucking do bench press all day and shit. You know what I mean? We don't fuck with the legs, man. Man, you gotta fuck with your legs, man.
Oh man, well yeah, well that's you had to balance it out. That's where I learned you had to balance it out. So you know, squats and working out the legs, man. That's where you start because that's where you build your endurance and basically the way they say it, you work the largest muscles first, and
Yeah.
all the chemicals that actually help build muscles actually come from that. So if you really want to get top heavy, you have to work the legs. All
Yeah.
the bodybuilders say that got to work the legs.
Yeah, I mean, naturally, black men, we got, smaller calves and everything, just naturally anyway,
Yeah.
genetically, than, other
Well,
guys. So, you
depends,
definitely got to work on the things.
depends on where they stole your ancestors from.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, if you go to West Africa, no, they don't. They got big legs, boss, and big calves. You go to
Okay.
Nigeria, nope. Like,
Okay.
you go down to Louisiana, you wouldn't say that.
No, I got you.
You wouldn't say that.
Yeah, man. That's like me, man. I was, no matter how hard I tried, man, no matter how hard I banged out my legs, man, I could never get the calves I wanted, man. I just say, fuck it, man. Like, fuck it. I just gave up with that shit. Like, all right, I see this is gonna be an issue because I see how some of my uncles are built. They like tall and lanky guys, and like that's how I am. If I don't work out, I'll be like, well, I'll just turn into them. So, yeah, I ain't really starting that shit.
Or you just want to be strong. It doesn't matter if you have to get or not. Everybody don't have the same genetics.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
like the one thing we ain't got to worry about in my family is that.
See, that's the sleds and stuff in back of me. Great shit.
Big place,
That's downtown Baltimore, actually. It's not like a goddamn club in here, does it?
Oh yeah, well, all black clubs do gyms do, man. Sound like they had to keep the savage beast happy.
Hold up. How many 45 plates you want me to put on there? 3, 2,
You on the machine?
4, 5?
Well, let's make it light. Put 3 on there. 3 aside. Put 3 aside. That's probably too light for you though. But those are upper, right? Yeah.
I did lower body with those sleds and shit.
Okay. Well, I'm talking about for upper chest.
Upper chest. This is
Yeah,
upper chest.
yes, upper chest. Yeah. So yeah. 3 should do you.
3.
Yeah, 3
I'll
aside.
let I'll let everybody in the chat pick.
Okay.
Be gentle.
Oh, somebody said David Little said 4 aside. That's kind of much for. That's a lot for a machine, though. Yeah, because machines actually isolate muscles, whereas the bench
Oh
press
yeah,
uses a lot more muscle groups.
use the whole goddamn thing, man.
But for those kind of flies, man, you don't you cut down the weight. Yeah, 3 aside should do for him. Somebody said 5
I'm
plates.
trying, I'm trying to be like I'm trying to be a jawline nigga like Pretty Boy Boogie right there. You know,
we try to we try
Yo,
to
real
Boogie come out and take care of Layla Rashawn, man. For a small fee.
yeah, I take
you
care
know,
of it, man.
Yeah,
guess what?
take,
I'll take the cake.
take some pressure off of Fuqua, man. So he can go diddle on what's her name without no pressure. So, okay.
Man, you know
I'll
what?
take the cake.
I didn't kind of follow that story. I kind of seen it in passing, like people thumbnails and shit, like, oh, what the fuck is going on? But I don't know why people look, man. People people with money and status, man, their sexual lives are just totally different. So we don't really know the ins and out of that shit. Like I say, I don't know all the details, but I'm just speaking in general.
Well,
I mean,
he did it
you
in
know who
public.
she married into?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Of course. Well, at that level, everyone does, and she was basically she knew the deal, man, because she been around. She wasn't no saint when she got with him. In fact,
Right.
he was her last stop.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically, she was on her way down. So
Mm-hmm.
by the time she got to him,
Yeah,
he
man. I'm like,
he,
this is
he, he hadn't made it yet.
yeah. Like to me, that wasn't even a story. I'm like, okay, like if he wouldn't have brought Nicole Murphy, he would have brought another young mistress. I mean, it's. I mean, she's not young, but he would have brought one of his young mistresses over there, whatever the
Yeah.
case may be.
Yeah.
It's how it is. You know what I mean? It's how it is. She should, especially the fucking weight that she gained. Because I seen some pictures now.
Yeah. I saw that.
And I'm like, okay, well, this right here explains it all.
Yeah, there's no excuse, especially if you got money. There's no excuse for it being that size.
Oh my god, that's pathetic.
What's that?
I thought I'd never call a woman pathetic, but that's pathetic.
Yeah, especially as beautiful as she was, but she's not the first. So,
Now, I think she was fly
ate
back
herself
in
out of
the day.
Hollywood.
fly wasn't the word, man.
She was fly, man.
Remember the Harlem Nights, Sunshine?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
She was fly, waiting to exhale. She was fly, man.
Yeah. When I first saw her, she was dating was it Jermaine Jackson? I think it was Jermaine Jackson. She was a bad girl. Go back and look at the Spud McKenzie commercials. She was Spud McKenzie girl.
I remember that shit.
Yeah, she was fine. She was something else.
Yeah, to me, man, I'm like, well, what's the story here? Nobody even, huh?
She's probably embarrassed about it too, because if you've been, if you've been that good looking and see you now, it's like, what happened? And
Right.
then your man cheating on you in public.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a public thing.
Oh, the public thing. Okay.
Yeah, evidently he don't care. So basically, I guess he wants out. When your niggas do that, y'all want out, man.
Yeah. Once he get to that point where he just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, he wants out.
I mean? Yeah. And look, they probably stay in separate houses, and you know what I mean. They ain't. I think at that level,
You know what happened with
Italy.
So what y'all?
You know what happened with that? Like, I always told people when one of the spouses still work out, and the other one themselves go, it's only a matter of time. Only a matter of time. I keep telling a lot of these dudes, all you need to do is just work out, watch the diet, have a positive mental attitude, tell a fucking joke or two, even if it's bad.
Mm.
And you'll know that you have a different caliber of women coming after you.
Yeah, that's true.
But Niggas don't want to put in work. Everybody want to be strong, but don't want to lift them. But it works the same. The funny part, it works the same way with women. Like a lot of women, I don't want to get bulky. Are you taking steroids? No. Testosterone? No. Then you won't get bulky. You don't have the hormones for that shit. You get tone. I always tell people, you want to be forever young? Get in that gym.
They don't
But
want
you know,
they want to eat. If they just stop eating like that, then there'd be a big difference. But they don't.
I remember,
My daughter said all the
I
time.
remember Saturday. I remember Saturday you were mentioning that black women don't take care of their bodies, and I had to come to an ugly reality too.
Some of it is our fault because we accept them. We're too
That is
accepting
true.
of the way they look, and some of it's our fault. But the thing is that they should have some self pride. And I actually we're going to do a video about that because Kendra mentioned something when she talked about empty vessels. That you have a lot of. Uh, she called it. She called it empty. She did a video yesterday called "Empty Vessels." You're bored.
You bringing up, man.
You said
You bringing
BG.
up, man.
Yes.
You're Borgen. So turn off the video. Oh, turn off the video for a second before you put probably the bandwidth. Probably not enough bandwidth.
So check it out.
Yes, sir.
Like, here's my argument.
And I got to go in about 5 minutes. But go ahead.
Okay. So, and this is something me and Game Changer go at it all the time. Like, I know y'all beef, but you know what I mean? Like me and him do the live stream.
He's funny to me. But go ahead.
Yeah, but so now when guys start to bring women and other cultures and races in the mix, well, I'll give you an example. They be like, well, Asian men and Hispanic men don't have to deal with this. I mean, like, deal with this.
It's true.
So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, you may be right, but let's put it in context. Now, the average Hispanic female, she had that first baby. She's putting on weight. Can't get around that. She put on weight, and a lot of them cannot get that shit off. So with that being said, these guys just deal with it because family is everything to a lot of these people. And same thing with Asian women. I'm like, well, if you go to places like Korea, motherfucker, a lot of them bitches ugly as a motherfucker. Have you been there? Like, yellow teeth, just the nastiest bodies. But even the ugliest one got a husband because a lot of them think family first. So I'm like, a lot of people are talking from a straight place of ignorance, man. Because it sounds good, because that's what they might see every now and then in public. They might see, these races of men with good looking women, but I don't think a lot of these dudes actually spent enough time around other races of people to really understand the working dynamics of that shit. I'm like, dog,
it depends.
It's highly romanticized, is basically what I'm saying.
Well, it is, but the thing is, it also depends. It depends on where you're at. They see it as because if you're in an area where there's integrated schools, then you have been around other races and around other women. Like in LA, you've been to West Coast, man. Half the black dudes are with Hispanic women. You see, you can't see that because my son's got one. His best friends got one. A couple of my what I call my little play sons, they got a couple. A couple of my nephews, they got a couple. Man, it's like it is what it is. Okay, especially on the West Coast. If you're in that environment, that's what you're gonna marry. And in the United States, this is the message that has been pushed to them for the last 40 years to be with others. And look on the freaking commercials, man. That's all you see. Interracial coupling. In fact, somebody just showed me the new, what is it? Was it Vogue or something like that, where they had a chocolate man and a lily white woman all intertwined. So this is what's being pushed. So it's not just they haven't dealt with other races. They've been subtly brainwashed into doing this.
Well, I'm not necessarily talking about
Mm,
the interracial part of it, but what I'm saying is
mm.
um, I think a lot of this shit is highly romanticized. To think that other races of men are just getting, I mean, the top notch women in
Oh
that
no, no,
culture all the time. I'm like, nah, they deal with bullshit too, man.
but it's
Motherfuckers
different.
deal with that shit. So,
But it's different bullshit.
well, you know what I'm saying? If you want to talk about weight, I always point to that Hispanic culture, like,
Oh
okay,
yeah.
let one of these broads have a baby and see how big she blow the fuck up.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
talking about average.
Oh yeah. What it's saying is most guys that I talk to is the thing is the reason they go into another culture is not about weight. In fact, the biggest complaint, some people complain about weight as far as black women is concerned, but the biggest thing that black men complain about is attitude. It has nothing to do with their weight.
But you know what I want, Black Nasty? Yo,
Mm,
here's what I want, man. I just want niggas to be honest. And I know it's not gonna happen, but my thing is this: me as a man,
mm,
whatever decision I make, man,
mm,
I stand on it. I
mm.
ain't gotta explain or justify myself to nobody. But like for instance, I'm not gonna say no names on your panel, but there's a couple guys, they campaign around YouTube and justify why they're dating white women. And I'm like, man, you
Yeah,
making yourself more susceptible to the vitriol from these black women by doing that instead of looking them in the eyes and said, I'm a grown man, I make my own decisions. But black women being fat or black women, having attitudes, that shouldn't weigh on your decision on who you want to mate with. Just stand on it.
well, the thing is, we know, man. I mean, I wish brothers would keep it real, right?
Niggas ain't keeping it a buck.
Yeah,
Everybody knows this,
you
man.
think those fat black women that nobody says that they want didn't have them babies by artificial insemination. Somebody was fucking them, and
Yeah.
somebody's still fucking them. And
That
I've
is
seen the
true.
dudes that are fucking them.
It's called the Thirsty Nigga Chronicles.
And what the thing is we call it thirst, but the thing is, it is what it is. To say that we're, if 60% of black women or 50% of black women are overweight and they're not alone, that
Oh,
they have attitudes because somebody's banging them, man. You
They have
can't.
that. They have
yo, here's what I
attitude
want to
because
hear.
somebody's incentivizing that bullshit.
And it's not when black men are not going to other races because of weight. That's bullshit. Everybody knows that.
Here's what I want to hear,
Hmm.
which I know I'm not. It's a pipe dream. I want to
Hmm.
hear these niggas confess and say, black women were mean to me when I was young.
Hmm.
It left me scarred. I have trauma behind it. And now I have PTSD.
Shit, black women are mean to you when you get old.
Well,
I'm
particularly
60. They
when they're
still mean.
young.
They still mean.
Matter of
Well,
fact, they
particularly
mean
when
back.
you're young, you
You
don't
know
really
what?
know how to deal with it, right?
Well,
Because
because CC Boogie. See, the thing is that I'm dealing with both sides of the fence.
yeah.
I'm telling black women what they need to tighten up on. I know I get tired of niggas because this way before YouTube, man. This has been the last 30 years. Get tired of just complaining to me about how their girl's attitude. Okay, and the struggles that they have with black women. In fact, I just had this. I just had this brother because his wife was actually on my women's channel like a week earlier, right? Because they having a baby and stuff like that. So she asked me about his advice. He came on the very next week. He told me, he said a lot of stuff he didn't believe until he was going. I think he was going to Walmart one day, right? And his wife wanted to go in there cash the check. And he said, "No, you're gonna wait for me to wait for me to get the basket before you go in, right?" And so this old black lady came up and was trying to tell his wife, "Don't listen to him. You go in and cash his check." And he looked at her. It's like,
Mhm.
no, she's gonna wait for me to get this cart, just like I said, and that and then she kind of sheepishly sighed and she said, "Well, baby, he does pay the bill." His wife said he does pay the bills, and the old lady like, "I don't care whether he pays the bills. He can't tell you what to do. Like that ain't your father." And he looked at it. I said, "See, I've been trying to tell you." It's actually embedded in the black women that black women do. That's why I call it the gynocracy. You know, You
They
know,
really they
brother,
really
if
think they got rulership
they
over you.
think they have rulership over you, they do think that they're better, and that's the issue.
Even
That
even the ones that are just even the ones that are scores worse than you, like hundreds of points worse than you, they think they're better.
and
Man,
and it's like
God damn.
and it's embedded into the culture. The thing is, you know, trying to get black because the society is pushing black men to actually mix out or actually date out to actually to blend in with the population. Black women have to realize that you got to you got to compete for your men
Well,
because
that's the problem.
yeah.
Well, that's the problem, BGS. You talking about a motherfucker who think they got the Olympic gold medal, and they coming in there out of shape, out of breath, out of patience, out of everything. The problem is a twofold problem. One, a lot of these thirsty pussy niggas need to stop incentivizing their behavior,
Mm.
and two, they need the women need to actually get their bodies right, get their minds right, get their souls right.
Yeah, but the thing is, if these thirsty niggas was actually marrying them and making families with them, I'd have no problem with it. But they're not, and
The thing is,
that's another thing that Kendra was talking about. That's what I was actually going to do. It's almost 9 o'clock. In fact, I got last questions, folks, because I got to bounce. What?
Yeah, I'll say this comment and jump off.
Mm,
What I'm seeing from a
mm,
lot of dudes, and because I'm privileged to a little bit more knowledge on this, I've been examining this shit, and a
mm,
lot of niggas just
mm.
won't admit the
They don't
fact
want- Yeah,
what I just said,
yeah,
and a lot of this shit go back to when they were younger.
yeah.
That a lot of black women were mean. I'm talking about
Mm,
black girls,
mm,
and it scarred these guys. And just like I told you, when I had my stutter and my stammers,
mm,
yeah, man, that was a rough period, but it didn't scar me for life. Um, and I'll give you another example. I got
mm,
a brother,
mm,
because I know you got to go. I got a brother in the Air Force,
mm,
and he had an experience with a black woman. He was maybe a senior in high school, right?
mm,
And so he got out of high school, joined the Air Force, and it was really bad. And he just rid off black women, right?
mm.
He just rid
Yeah.
them off. And also he had a real overbearing mother as well and sister, so that didn't help.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. So basically, it's par for the course. Donovan Sharp says exactly the same thing.
Mhm.
Exactly the
Well,
same
well,
thing.
well, yeah. Donovan is honest.
example.
Donovan is honest.
I'll
Donovan
give
is.
you a good I'll give you a good example last night at work.
Mm,
My first call out the gate, family
mm,
disturbance. Mom comes barging in to run the son,
mm,
and he's like coming home from college,
mm.
telling him he ain't gonna be shit, he ain't gonna graduate, all this
Yeah,
other shit,
yeah. Yep.
the typical shit.
Mm,
Even though she looks like half a bag of trash,
mm,
bitch breath smell like a dumpster juice.
mm.
And she said that he was being rude to her when he was like, "Ma, you're doing too much. Oh, you disrespected me." So she decided to punch him in his face and his lip,
Wow. Oh, okay.
and then get his little brother, who's sweeter than a Georgia peach, if you know what I mean, and I think you do,
Yeah.
because he got an old. But here's the problem:
Mm,
older sister got a baby up in the house.
mm,
Younger brother, he's gay, so it's like having another bitch in the house.
mm,
But because he's the guy trying to do what he needs to do, and he's
mm,
the only masculine one in the house,
mm.
she feels as though she got to control him.
Yeah.
And the best way she thinks she can control him is try to beat on him and try to swing a bat on him.
Mm,
He's like, well, he's a child. I said, how old is he? He's 20. He's not a goddamn child. Oh, he's a child in my house.
mm,
I
mm.
said, number one, ma'am, you need to calm yourself down. Are you going to lock me up? I said, no, I'm going to whoop your ass if you don't calm down.
Mm.
All right. I had to pull the dude to the side. I said, if you go back to that house, you a damn fool.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give you a homework assignment. See, Boogie.
What's that?
Read. It's online. It's in a PDF. E. Franklin Frazier's um the Negro Family in the United States. Read chapter five through 8. You
Okay.
don't want to read the whole book. You get what I'm talking about.
I mean, see, you got to understand, Black Nazi. I'm not doubting what you saying. What I'm saying, I think it's another element to this that's not being talked about because a lot of guys won't keep it real. But if you pay attention to some of the content that's coming out,
Yeah.
You
Okay, he'll be back in a second. Well, the content's coming out. The thing is, the content's coming out. But the thing is, this is the underlying problem. 'Cause the thing is, way before you, I've been dealing with this way before YouTube, man. Way before YouTube.
I'm just
In the content. Go ahead. Finish, Charles.
I was just gonna say this shit. It took me a while to actually see this shit, and being a cop, and you get to come in people's lives, and you like, oh my god, there's something wrong with these women.
Mm-hmm.
Like they really think they're better than you.
Yeah, yeah.
Like these are some of the most insane creatures who think they could get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 babies, be out of shape, and still get a top notch motherfucker. You are fucking kidding me if you think you're. I had to tell one chick who's mad at me because I didn't see her. I said, wait a minute, you lost value when you had your second child to me. So you got to wait on me. I said, here's my days off. You pick which day. Because otherwise, then I'm going to keep making money. Well, you make time for what you want. Yeah, I want money. Unless you're going to give me something that's worth the money or the money itself.
Because if you're not fucking her or spending money on you to black women, your word is not valid.
Well, guess what? If she ain't making no dollars, then it doesn't make any sense.
The thing is, we don't run a community. Go ahead, Angry Man, because I got about 5 minutes, bro. Jump in.
my bad. I just wanted to jump on real
No, go ahead.
quick.
No, I'm letting you go and jump in, man.
No, I was gonna say what y'all was saying earlier about the about black women being big.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that Negroes don't want to say, and I've said it before numerous times.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of black dudes that like big women.
Oh yeah.
They just don't want to say it because it's not socially acceptable. That's all that is. They don't want to catch no hell from their homeboys and shit clowning them about being with big chicks.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what that is.
Oh yeah. You know, when we say it, you know, when we say it, it's a bad light. But even people that say that they don't do.
What's the old saying?
Wait, they still, we ain't gonna mention no names, but we know who we talking about.
What's the old saying? Big chicks are like mopeds. They're fun to ride. So they're such on your friends see you on one.
Big chicks between 12 and 5. See Boogie know what I'm talking about. Go ahead, Sue Boogie.
So
make a point.
Oh yeah, so like I was saying, man, I'm not doubting what you're saying because what you're saying is correct. But what I was saying is, man, I think it's another element to this shit.
Like
that,
what?
A lot of these cats are just never going to be honest about because this is just not a platform and a space for that. But
no. Talking about YouTube. Oh no.
Yeah. So for instance, right? So you got the swirlers.
Mm-hmm.
So like a lot of the swirlers, their mission is to not necessarily. Half of the mission is to try to get them a white dude, but really they want to rub it in the faces of black men.
Yep.
They want you to feel it. And I see a lot of these cats, like I had an interaction with a guy yesterday, and that's all he wanted to talk about was white bitches. Mm-hmm. And basically what he wanted to do was take that and rub it in the faces of black women. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, dog, that's hurt talking right there. Because if you was happy with your decision, you would just do it. Why are you campaigning around social media? Why are you dating white chicks, man? If that's your preference, you stand on it and you die about it. Fuck what anybody think.
You know what? I had this discussion about 1.5 years ago with the SYSBM crew, right?
Hey, what's going on, Angry Man? My bad.
Hey, what's going on, C Boogie?
Yeah, about throwing rocks over the fence. I said because they kept complaining about black women and how they date now stuff like that. I said, well, goddamn, stop throwing rocks over the fence. If you're happy with it and you got your woman and you got your families intact and you're happy with them, and don't. Why are you throwing rocks back over the fence?
Because they hurt BGS.
How can they
actually want black women?
How can they're already married? They got the women that they want.
Because it's the constellation prize.
So there are guys that are married to white chicks right here. And look, that's not the case, but okay, so you're married outside of your race. Mm-hmm. Now, you spend 4 or 5 hours a day, talking about the fuckery of black women. Now,
because his mama
motivate a guy to do that if he ain't hurt.
Because
if he's so happy with his marriage and his house on the cul-de-sac with his family.
Because he's getting back at mama.
So it's only mama.
He getting back at mama.
I don't know, dog.
It's also because you know, dudes getting with women, a certain degree of that is conquest. So if they get with a white woman and the white woman is doing what they want them to do, or you know, complying with them or whatever, it's like, okay, cool, I got the white woman to do it, but I still wasn't able to get the black woman to do it.
Facts.
That's what it is.
And that's what they always wanted, Angry Man. That acceptance and that validation from the black women in their neighborhood. They never got it. And they're gonna spend their days on YouTube campaigning.
I'm telling you, see, Boogie, starting with their mothers.
Oh, okay, I'm not saying
starting with their mothers, man. That's where it's coming from. It's not it's a lot of black women trying to prove to daddy that daddy threw me away.
Black Gnostic, I agree, but I want to add another element to it. Can we do that?
You go ahead.
I think it's another layer on this cake that we haven't even gotten to yet, because I understand what you're saying, because you know, with the matriarchy, the gynocracy, but to me, how can you rationalize you married? And I've been married, like I told you. You ain't got that much time on your hands as a married man. So you married and children, but you spend 4 or 5 hours a day talking about the fuckery of black women.
Okay.
If you did not want them.
Okay, because the thing is, if you're doing that, is because it's not because of the woman that you're with. It's because you're on the other side of the fence and you're a fish out of water. Now you have to adapt to somebody else's culture because you with that white woman. You have to adapt to her culture because you're no longer part of this one, and because you're on the other side of the fence by yourself. You hear a lot of dudes do that. It's because they're actually they're a fish out of water, man. Because they're on the side of the goddamn fence, and basically, no matter what they say or how much they preach it, they ain't comfortable over there. It ain't like being being on the other side with your own. Because they're not just complaining about women; they also complain about black people. Period. Go ahead, Angry Man.
So,
no, I didn't say anything. Okay. I'm trying to get my bandwidth right, because
I mean, I would love to leave you guys on, man, but I got another gig in about 45 minutes, so I wish you had jumped on earlier, Angry Man.
Man,
I know, man.
Confession, I just woke up.
Okay, all right, no, hardest working man on YouTube, nigga. Shit, what can I say?
Hey, I appreciate it.
See, that's where I wish I actually went to sleep. God damn, I had my appointment with the physical therapist and work out. Shit.
Quit skipping leg day, Charles.
Dude, I got running back. I'm tired of motherfuckers thinking I got small legs, so they see me in shorts, and they be like, "What kind of fucking Clydesdale horse you got?"
They're trying to get.
I got calves.
They're trying to get me to do more than show. I said, "Hell no, I'm not angry, man. I can't do this shit every day.
I can't, man.
I can't do live every day."
Hey man, that shit ain't no joke. Sometimes I just have to not do one. You know what I'm saying? For real.
Yeah. But a Black Nazi, man, I'm on to something, man. I've been studying this shit, the behavior, and to me, that's a logical conclusion that these guys.
That's part of it. The thing is, why do they want to come back? And the thing is, it has more to do with the environment that they're in, because every white woman's not gonna come back. The reason you left the hood in the first place is because you thought you got driven out. But the thing is, what the secret is, you know, if you ever gone to a white school, been in a white environment, the secret is that you don't quite fit there. You will, as a black man, you will really never really fit there, and you always have to have that mask on, and you can't really get comfortable. You're only comfortable with your own, and a lot of them wish that they could get what they get with that white. Just about every black man that I ever talked to that had married some outside of their race wishes that they could get the same thing in a black woman they get outside of it. They didn't leave because they wanted it, because they couldn't get what they needed in black women. Can't blame them. If that's what it is, that's what you need. You got to jump on. The thing is, you got to take what's over there. You can't come here trying to change the black community if you're not on the side of the fence. Stay over there and deal with what you got to deal with. But that's what.
Yeah, because most of them, you know, and I know you got to go be just. Most of them, getting a woman that's white, that's usually a second choice.
Yes.
It's usually a second choice, you know. But
It's a matter of if you listen to them, they always talk like they were forced to do it. It's not like they wanted to do it. I was forced to do it. I couldn't get what I needed. Even with the so-called nerds and the ELs, man. The first thing said, I got driven out. I wasn't accepted here, so I had to go to people that actually accepted me. The thing is
Yeah,
now,
you know how many black nerds there are out there that they could congregate with? I think a little bit of it's just laziness.
that's true, but also, Charles, you've dealt with black female nerds, man. They still got the attitude. I don't care. It's inbred.
Yeah, I
From
mean,
top
it's
to
like
bottom.
it's like they're afraid to say "shut the fuck up." You know how much a good "shut the fuck up" makes your day go better. Hey,
So
you're
here's the
not doing
thing.
this. Shut the
Sometimes
fuck up.
you're not saying it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yo, so here's the thing, man. You can't buy your acceptance into another culture. And when I say buy, here's the currency a lot of these guys use. And I've heard these guys say that. I'm gonna say no name of your platform, but here's the currency they use. Talking about black women. And to me, that's sucker shit. I can honestly say I've never dated a female in my race and turned around and set up and talked about black women. To me, that's a no-no because it's uncalled for, right? Like, why are you doing it?
They
And
talk about black women to us, not to the white folks.
no. I'm saying this because
Mhm,
I heard a guy say
mhm,
him and his wife sit
mhm,
up and laugh at black women,
mhm,
and she's not black. And
mhm,
I'm thinking, well, unless your wife is willing to sit up there
mhm,
and make fun of white guys, which I know she ain't gonna do it because her dad is white and our granddad is white, and she
mhm,
ain't gonna do it with your black ass, then
mhm.
to me, and I don't even use these kind of words, but that's kind of off code, man. I'm
That's-
like, yo, as a man,
we have a word for it. It's called cooning.
let's go.
yeah.
Oh, that's a cool.
It's called
But,
cooning.
but to
Yes.
me, that's fascinating, dog, because I'm like, yo, man, a
See,
lot of
bro.
these guys,
See, you're not used to it because you on the East Coast, bro. Where am I? I'm in California. Okay, been dealing with this all my life.
but to a pathology is a pathology, dog.
I know
And
what.
to me, a lot of these cats,
Uh huh.
we can say there's a percentage of them that kind of have been rejected
Mm-hmm.
because they just didn't fit in, which
Mm-hmm.
I'm sensitive to. All right, I got you, bruh. You know what I mean? Your environment wasn't conducive to your personality.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, right? But once again, these guys will never admit that the big booty Brendas in the hood, where they always fantasized about, that hurt them that they didn't even get an opportunity. Like they wasn't even on the list to even sniff her panties. So,
Mm-hmm.
what they do now, well, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go get a white bitch and I'm gonna come back and smash this whole cake in her face and let her know every reason why I'm fucking with this white bitch and pick her apart. And I'm like, well, my thing is, if you are happy, you're a family man, and you happy,
Mm-hmm.
what is the need, bruh?
Yeah, but he doesn't attack her. He attacks Pookie and Ray Ray because they say Pookie and Ray Ray is the one that you chose.
Oh yeah, that's another pathology. If it
That's like,
wasn't for these guys, I would
yeah,
be up next to get her, right?
who's going to be up next to getting her?
It's
The
crazy,
real.
man.
No, it's not. It's just it's human psychology. Anyway, y'all, I got to go. Hey,
All
man,
right,
last
peace.
final word.
Oh, nothing much, man. I was gonna hop on here to see how this work and everything. This
Oh,
shit is
okay.
crazy,
Oh,
but
it's yeah. It's not. It's actually easier than Hangouts.
yeah, it
You just
is. It
have
is.
to go to StreamYard to actually to the StreamYard website to actually do it. But the thing is, and get onto their into their little virtual studio. But it's actually easy. It takes one button. Put in your
Okay.
whatever it is, and once it recognizes your YouTube your YouTube users name and what you call it your YouTube platform.
Mm-hmm.
What's really one button you give type in your email address. Actually, is this YouTube channel you actually want to connect with? Boom, you're in.
Okay.
It's
That's
simple.
cool.
One or two buttons
Cool.
is it. Yeah.
Cool. All
Add it
right,
to
man.
your. In fact, you can actually use virtual cam with it.
Oh, you can.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, you pick your
Okay.
camera, use virtual cam with it, so you can do
Okay.
all that.
Cool. Cool. All right, so I'm gonna let you go, man. I know you gotta go. You've been saying
Yeah,
so much.
man, because I gotta get ready for IRL in real life shit with my
Oh,
real
word.
name.
Okay.
Since they said I don't do it in real life, I got to do it in real life.
Yeah.
My last
All
word
right,
is
man.
I'm about to get some. I'm about to have that kick-ass workout.
Uh-huh.
About to light up this fucking cigar for my
Uh-huh.
niggas and
Uh-huh.
drink this liquor and woo all of y'all.
Did you actually get that shrag from Sunday
So
night?
her and her friend was busy, so I had to hit up another one.
Oh, okay. All right.
All I gotta say is Jamaica, Jamaica.
Okay. All right. you you had to tell Valdez about that story, man. That was weird. Right on. You hear
Oh,
about that
that
one, Valdez? You hear about that one?
Not yet. I can only imagine.
He'll tell you about that. That was actually live on air, man. He had to turn the camera off on that one.
Oh, okay.
He'll tell you about that one. Anyway, y'all, I gotta roll.
my
All
life in
right,
the
man.
sunshine.
All right,
Woo!
all right. Peace.
All right, BJ. Peace.